You are listening to Tom Talk's online marketing podcast, bringing practical solutions for today's online marketing dilemmas. Now here's the owner of Total Online Marketing and host, Daryl Allen.
Hey, welcome back to the Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Daryl Allen, along with my other host, Kris.
Kris O'Connor. I'm Kris with a K at Kris O'Connor Marketing Gems.
And today we are very honored to have a special guest, a close personal friend of mine. We share a lot of things together. 1, we share a name. 2, we share a birthday month. 3, we share a love of magic. My friend, Daryl Howard. Daryl, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me over.
It's going to be magical.
Absolutely. And I already know a lot of things about Daryl, so I could just rattle on, but I really want him to introduce the way that he's grown in magic and the things that you don't have to mention me anything because this is about you. But yeah, we do share some common bonds in the magic community. But believe it or not, you may not realize this. You can actually have a magician at your personal private party and things like that.
Events.
Corporate events, all kinds of things. And Daryl is one of the many professional magicians that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that actually serve that type of community. So Daryl, introduce your business and tell us the kind of magic you enjoy and what else you can tell the audience that'll be listening today.
Well, I primarily perform strolling close-up magic for private parties and corporate events. So if you have a celebration of some kind, birthday party, anniversary, graduation party, wedding reception, any kind of get-together, dinner parties. I do a lot of dinner parties, corporate events, cocktail mixers and the like. If you want somebody to show up at your party and entertain guests and just liven up the party, bring a little magic, that's what I do. I don't have a large stage show. I'm not a big stage illusionist. I love the close-up magic. That's what I've always loved all my life since I was a little kid. I started performing magic at the age of 8. And I remember my dad took me to see my first magic show right here at the State Fair in Dallas, which, by the way, is the longest running and largest state fair in the country. And I saw a magician perform on stage, and I was just blown away by his skill and talent. And I got to meet the man. Turned out to be Mark Wilson. So there are some in the Dallas area that might still remember him. And he inspired me to want to learn magic. So I started reading books. We didn't have the internet back then. I started reading books on magic, and my dad would take me to the library, and then I started ordering books of my own. And today I have just under 1,000 books in my library. But I've also joined magic societies, the Society of American Magicians and International Brotherhood of Magicians, the local Dallas Magic Club, which you and I are both members of, Texas Association of Magicians, other magic organizations that have given me the opportunity to learn from other magicians and attend lectures and workshops and private sessions with other magicians. And that's how I've learned over the years. And I didn't always perform magic as a profession. For years, I just kept it as a hobby. And later, I decided I wanted to do it professionally. So I started working toward reaching that goal. It took me a few years to build up my business, but now I advertise professionally online and do professional magic shows. I'm very proud of that. It's taken me a long time to get there. But that's mainly what I do is the close-up shows. To me, that's as close to true magic as you can get, working just with your bare hands, and nothing else. So that's what I do.
I think that's most impactful, really, because when you're right there, when it's right in front of you, and you look at them and you say, how the heck did you do that?
The thing, I love the stage magic shows, Penn and Teller and Copperfield and all the guys, that perform on the big stages. And I respect those guys. I've met some of them in person. But my take on that is, when you're watching a big stage magic show, let's say the magician is sawing somebody in half, or they make somebody vanish out of a box and reappear in another box. You know that there's machinery at work, right? You know that there's some type of equipment, a trap door, a mirror in the box, or a smoke screen, or something, a secret passage, or compartment in the box that is actually
Don't
making
give
the
away
magic
too many
work.
secrets now.
When you see a close-up magician work with my bare hands, I don't have all those gadgets and devices. So it looks more like, or as close to what real magic would look like if there was such a thing as real magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of the fact that I can, hand my props, a deck of cards or whatever I'm working with to a volunteer, guest at the party. Here, look at these cards. Give these cards a shuffle for me. Or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm working with coins or some other object, somebody says, "Let me have a look at that." I don't have a problem. I don't use any gimmicked devices. What I do is pure sleight of hand, and I try to. My philosophy is, if there really was such a thing as real magic, what would it look like? And I try to come as close to that look visually and the experience of magic, for the guests that I perform for, as I possibly can. Now we know, there's no such thing as real magic, or at least not what we see on TV and in the
Right.
movies.
Right.
But I can come very close to that. So that's something that I'm very proud of, and I've gotten really good reviews. One year I won the trophy for Dallas's Performing Magician of the Year.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you, for my close-up magic show. So that's what I do. If you're having a party or get together, you just call me and I'll come and liven up the party.
And I will say that I know all the questions that magicians might want to ask or whatever, but I want to actually say, first of all, Kris, you're not a magician. Is that correct?
Oh, gosh,
not a
no.
performing magician.
No.
I bet you have a whole lot better questions than what I could present to Derrel. So I want you to ask him anything about, I don't know, if you were throwing a party, or what would be the steps to get engaged? How would you know about him? All kinds of things that, that somebody that's looking for a different kind of entertainment for a party, or just a different idea. What kind of things would you want to ask somebody that's actually doing it?
Well, your typical questions, right? I'd go to Google and search for magicians, right? Local near me, magicians near me is what I would go for, and see what pops up, right?
It's a good strategy.
And as another magician, that plus marketing person, I will tell you, a lot of times what you'll find, and this is true because I've actually experienced it recently, and I'm looking at the camera, and for you that are just listening, because I want you to understand that when you do that Google search, there's a lot of people that are marketing. They're building a marketing agency for entertainers or whatever, and you'll actually get somebody who will then send an email or a text to me or Derrel or someone like us and say, "Hey, would you like to go do a gig?" So you just actually given away 10-20% of your money to somebody that's not even around here. So you actually do, when you do that Google search, you want to look for somebody local. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents
Yeah.
there.
Enter,
All right,
enter
go
your
ahead.
zip code, or like you said, find a magician near me.
Well, I wouldn't do
It's-
zip code. I would do my city, right?
City, there you
let's
go,
say
yeah.
I live in Allen, Texas. So I would say, find me a magician near me, and
Right.
that comes to homes or something, whatever, comes to events, because not all magicians do that, right? But to me, like, when you're searching for something that's different, and I used to run a conference, and I was always looking for people, say like yourself, that is different, right? We had comedians come in. We had, every year I had something new, because I didn't want the same old, and I always got compliments, because I like finding things like you. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me who are wanting to find something different for their event. Like, not many people invite magicians to their event, right?
That's true.
Now,
Yes.
the other thing I would ask too is, what is your age limit? Like, do you want to come do a 3-year-old's birthday party, or would you rather do an adult's birthday party? So
I prefer adult parties. The only thing about small children is if they're a 3-year-old or younger, they're not old enough to really appreciate the magic yet,
right.
because they haven't learned what is, what reality is.
So an 8-year-old birthday party would be a better.
That would be a good, yes, starting around 8 years old or so.
Mhm.
Now, I do perform for small children's parties, but that's usually because there are parents there. There's a mixed crowd. There are parents and their kids and friends and relatives that are there.
Mhm,
So I just do the show for the audience.
mhm.
I don't perform specifically for that
Gotcha.
child, but I perform. Now, for the older kids, teenagers and older, then yes, I can. The advantage that I have over some magicians, I can custom tailor the show to fit, the birthday guest of honor.
Mhm.
So what I usually do is, if it's a kid's party, I'll talk to the parents beforehand and say, you have a teenager that wants a party. They want a magician. So I'll ask you questions. Well, what kind of things interest your child? What subjects interest? What are their hobbies, and who are their friends? And I try to get of what kind of person this is. They love a certain type of music, or they love hobby. Say if they love card games. Well, that's an easy one. I can bring my deck of cards. I recently did a retirement party for an older guy who was a professor,
Mm.
and all his friends at the party were poker players.
How fun is that?
And of having the right, I'm going to be performing for a whole additional poker players. Let's see, what kind of magic should I do? So I whole show, it was like a big poker game, and I was showing how uh, gamblers cheated, and I was doing demonstrations and various things with cards, and the audience loved it, and everybody wanted my business card at the show, because it got more business from that.
That's awesome.
So that's what I do, is I what kind of venue I'm going to be performing at, and the people, the guests that will be there, or if there's one guest of honor. Say if it's a wedding reception, there's a bride and groom, or a birthday party, graduation party, college graduation. I find out about that guest of honor and what kind of magic would really interest them, even if they're not a person that really loves magic. I try to find something, a subject that we have in common, or something that interests them, that we can at least discuss while I'm doing the magic. And that's what I do, is I custom tailor a show. Now, you don't have that when you go to see a stage show. That stage show is set in stone.
Yep.
And they, the magician and his stage crew
Mhm.
don't even know who you are.
Mhm.
They have a set magic show that they're going to perform on stage, and I'm sure it will be worthy of the ticket price. But it's a different experience when you know that the magic show has been specifically designed just to entertain you. That's a special kind of experience, and that's the kind of experience that I try to bring to my shows.
That's a level up. That's a level up. Like, I
It
can see
is.
you doing some really good corporate parties.
Yes, I do. Yes.
That team building parties.
Yes.
Where you come in and this, and they have. I can see. Well,
I do a lot of those. Yes.
How well that would go over, because that's different. It's not the same thing. You're not bringing music in or a band in, or not that that's bad, because I've done all that, but it's
Right.
fun to bring something out of the ordinary.
Yes, and a lot of people think, they see magicians perform on stage, or on TV, and think, I could never afford to have that guy at my party. And a lot of cases that would be true.
Mhm.
If you're having a small if you're a big corporation and you're having a big, a gala event or 1,000 people, a big conference or convention, where employees of your company are coming from all over the country, maybe even out of the country, to converge at this hotel and have this 3-day conference, you could afford to get Penn and Teller in there.
Right.
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 But if you're having a dinner party with 30 guests, a small gathering, a family or a company Christmas party, let's say holiday party. I do a lot of holiday parties.
Mhm.
You might look at that and think, oh, I couldn't afford a magician. And even if I could, I probably wouldn't, they probably wouldn't want to come to my party,
Mhm.
because they're busy touring the world with their stage show, selling out huge crowd. And you'd be right. So my market it's a specialty market. A lot of magicians don't want to do what I do. It doesn't pay as much because it's a small party, and usually the party planner, the host is on a tight budget, but I can work with that, right? And I can give you, if you want me to come and do 2 or 3 hours of strolling close-up magic, and then you find out, oh, I can't afford your fee. I go, well, what if I just come and stay an hour, and I'll perform for as many people as I possibly can, a majority of your guests, however many guests you're having over, will get to see me perform. I might even end the evening by doing a small stage presentation for everybody together, 5 or 10 minutes, just so everybody has a chance to see some magic performed.
Mhm.
And I can do it for this cost rather than this cost. And usually they say, oh, well, I can afford that. Yeah, let's hire you. So I'm very flexible
Mhm.
in negotiating my prices and in the magic that I perform, the amount of
Mhm.
time that I perform, and everything is custom tailored just for you, the person hiring me.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome because what if you had a corporate event and you had the president, you had the vice president, and you had,
Well,
the big wigs, and then you did something for each one of them, like a jokester type thing, and let the rest of the small people, the employees see that. And I just think that would be a ball, personally.
that and I'm also promoting your company.
Yes.
So you have employees that are coming into this conference, and some of them may be new employees. They're not very familiar with the company and company policies and the company vision. So I can help people to feel at home in the company, because this is what the company does, and I'm actually promoting your company while I'm performing my
Mhm.
magic, and I can
Mhm.
even custom tailor my magic to that. So there's so many possibilities that so many different ways that I can actually present the magic and the
Mhm.
type of magic that I do, that you know uh, I can do
Do
just
party
about
planners know about you?
yes,
That
but
kind of leads me over to a question that I want you to answer,
sure.
because we are a marketing podcast, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and you can get to your butt there that you were about to, before I interrupted there, but in the marketing angle, talking about, do people know about you? What are some of the struggles that you may see in the marketing that you're doing now? Or if everything's a breeze, just let us know, what are the things that you might like to do more of, and possibly how even we could help you out. Or
Marketing is anything but a breeze. Even if you know what you're doing, it's a challenge.
Yes, it
What
is.
I have learned over the years, and of course you too know this because you're in the marketing business, there's a difference between advertising and marketing.
Mhm.
Advertising is when you go on the radio or TV, or you mail out flyers or rent a billboard, and you're basically targeting the general public.
Mhm.
That's good if you're a grocery store
brand
or
name.
a brand name that you're selling cars. Everybody needs a vehicle. Everybody needs to buy groceries. So that's a good form of advertising. You're not wasting your money by doing that. But as you pointed out earlier, not everybody wants to hire a magician. There are actually very few people out there in the real world that would even want to have my contact information. So what I've learned over the years is to make a list of the people that are already looking for me. And you mentioned the party, party and event planners, wedding planners, um, and hotel event planners.
Mhm.
Company, the bigger corporations have their own
Mhm.
event planner that plans not just parties, but company meetings and conferences and various things. They're the ones that rent the hotel ballrooms and banquet rooms. Those are the people that I really am interested in doing business with and getting my contact information to. There are individuals out there too that, as I'm having a personal, 25th wedding anniversary, I want to hire a magician. So they go online, just like you said, look for magicians near me in the Dallas area or in North Texas. Those people I
But
want
how do we
to,
get people to even think about using a magician, right?
I tell you why. Let's look at this. So, Daryl, let me ask you a question. Do you have any regular occurring, maybe once a month events or venues that you perform at regularly, maybe on the first Tuesday of a month?
well, let me think a moment.
Was that a lead in or what?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a show called Magic in the Living Room. It occurs in a restaurant slash bar called the Living Room.
Backdoor Comedy Club.
Yeah, the Backdoor
Yeah,
Comedy
Backdoor
Club in
Comedy
Richardson.
Club in Richardson, Texas.
And we have been doing this show the first Tuesday of every month. We're celebrating our 8th anniversary, 8 years of doing this show.
Wow.
And
By the way, mark your calendars now for the Derrel and Daryl show in October of 2026.
yes, we
First
always
Tuesday.
perform together as Derrel and Daryl, and it's always a hoot. But I am the official close-up performer for the show. This is in a little nightclub. It seats about 60 people. We have a small, comedy club style stage. And when you show up at the door, you get seated, and then I come to your table and I perform my strolling close up magic for you while you're ordering drinks and food and waiting for the stage show to begin. Then, when the stage show begins, I become I switch hats. I become the official photographer for the event because I also do photography, semi professionally or part time professionally. Let me put it that way. Um, and occasionally, our director producer Dal Sanders, who also has Amazing Attractions, which is a talent agency that operates here in the Dallas area. Sometimes he will invite me on stage to do a stage act. So I'll get 15, 20, whatever minutes
That's what we do in October.
on stage. Yes.
Daryl, why is it October special for that particular first Tuesday?
Because we both have a birthday in October.
We both have October birthdays. Yes,
that's right.
That's why. So, yeah, for the past 2 or 3 years, we've done the Derrel and Daryl show. And there's other performers too, but it's kind of, there's usually cake and, of course, there's beverages. And the tickets are so expensive to come to Magic in the Living Room, right? It's like,
no, they're
$15 whole dollars.
Yeah, $15.
Some comedy clubs it's $15 or maybe $20 or $30 and a 2-drink minimum. This is $15, including your first beverage, adult or otherwise.
That's true. And the Line Public House has excellent. I think they have award-winning pizza there. I've had their pizza, so you come and order some pizza or whatever meal you want, and you get to see a stage show. And we have a lot of fun. It's a good place. One of the reasons that I keep coming back and I enjoy performing there is because it is a perfect place to try out new material. and magicians are always looking for venues to try out new material. You can't always do that for just any old show.
Well, it's like a comedian. You got to try out your material. Right?
Exactly. So it's more of a testing ground
Mhm.
for new stuff. I've tried some new things that didn't go over so well, but I've also uh, tried some things that went over very well, much better than I even thought.
Mhm.
So I've developed over the years. I've developed a lot of new close-up magic through Magic in the Living Room, and we always have a great time. We have some very talented, mostly local performers that come. May was clowning night, so we had some professional clowns. One was a Ringling Brothers professional clown. Went to Ringling Brothers clowning school and toured with
University of
Ringling
Clown
Brothers.
College. Yeah,
Yes,
Clown College.
and I learned some things just by watching professional clowns that I could use in my
Mhm.
magic. I mean, I'm not a comedy performer per se, but watching them move on stage and how they script their acts, gave me some ideas
Sure.
for my magic show. So we have a good time, and it's tickets are available at magiclivingroom.com online. So come on out and join us. And I've gotten bookings for other events from performing there
Sure.
because somebody will show up who's never met me before, and they'll say, "Hey, do you do whatever events or
Mhm.
parties?" I say, "Sure." And well, do you have a business card? And I give them a business card. So I've gotten a few gigs from performing there,
Mhm.
and to me, it's important to always get your name out there,
Mhm.
and let people see that you're out there, that you're available, that you're a working professional, and you're available for their event.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I do. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of my favorite shows.
That's part of marketing there.
It's been a long running show, one of the longest running uh, uh, magic
live
shows.
magic shows
Yeah,
in Dallas-Fort Worth.
in the Dallas area, it is.
Well, because people like it.
We have some regular guests that come.
I'm sure.
We have regular guests, but we also Dallas-Fort Worth is full of rich, um, well acclaimed magicians. I mean, we've had Penn and Teller Foolers, we've had uh, Masters of Illusion performers. I mean, these big TV shows, we've had those guys on our little stage in Richardson, Texas. And so for your $15, you don't really know who you might see. You might see somebody that you just saw on TV or will see on TV in the future. So while it is a place where we can practice things and they can too, it's not a roughshod type of environment. You'll get well entertained. And it is a bar, so it is not a kids' magic show. So
Yes,
just be prepared.
yeah. But I've learned a lot. I think somebody asked David Copperfield one time, "Who are the best magicians, working in the business?" And he said, "Oh, that's easy. The ones that perform the most time on stage. Your stage time that makes the difference in how skilled and talented you are. Because when you're performing often on stage, then you will have a polished act. You can't help but have a polished
Exactly. Practice
magic
makes
act.
perfect, right?
If you're just working, once every few months, and you do one show here and there, and you're out of practice, and that's going to show.
Mhm.
So I think it's important to hire, if you're going to hire a magician, get somebody who is working regularly.
Actively.
It's kind of like having a part-time plumber come to your house and work on your plumbing. Well,
Right,
and he
right.
gets there with a wrench, and he says, "Well, let me
You have
see,
the right
see if I can remember
Yeah,
how
yeah.
to do this because it's been a while. I haven't done this one in a while. I'm not sure." That's going to make you nervous,
Yes.
right? So,
Now I do that as a comedy bit. Oh, I don't
well,
really know how to do that. It's one I just got through doing at the other table, but I understand where your point is right there.
exactly. Yeah, you want a magician who's a regular experienced performer who's comfortable on the stage or comfortable in, and the venues where I work, I will tell you, it's probably one of the most hostile environments in which to perform magic. I don't mean hostile like, violent, like, bar fight kind of places, although I've I've had some of those experiences as well. When I say hostile, I mean like very loud music playing. There's a live DJ or maybe a live band playing but as far away from me as Daryl is from me right now. And this guy thinks
That's where the
he's
speaker is,
he's
right?
yeah, he's the only performer in the whole building. And you got 1,000 people all talking, yelling over the loud music. And I come up and I'm going to perform some close-up magic for you. How in the world am I going to do that? Most magicians would not touch that. Well, I have my own professional sound system, portable sound system that I bring with me with a microphone, and I can crank it up and you can easily hear me. So I've overcome that. When I first started this, I found that I had to sign up for some professional voice lessons because I normally have a very soft spoken voice. And when I'm performing, I have to really project my voice, even with a microphone. So uh, I overcame that. And then a lot of my magic is it's entertaining and jaw-dropping enough that when you're watching me perform, you will forget about whatever's going on around you. And also, I do something that very few magicians can do. I can perform my magic completely surrounded by my audience. When I say surrounded, I mean people looking over both
Yeah.
shoulders. I have had people crouch down on the floor, looking at my hands from underneath, trying to catch something. My magic, everything that I do is totally angle proof. I don't have to hide anything. I mean, I could perform for this camera very easily
Mm-hmm.
because that's just one angle.
Right.
But you have people behind me, standing over me, or all around me,
Mm-hmm.
trying to, catch
Figure
the
out what you're
magician.
doing.
Yeah,
I saw
that
that.
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and I have fooled other professional magicians with some of the magic that I do. I've actually had, I think, one of the greatest compliments I ever got was a professional magician who has years of experience in the business, and he approached me at a show, and he said, "What would you charge me to teach me that magic that you just performed?" And I said, "Well, thank you for the compliment, but that particular trick is not for sale because I developed it. I spent several years developing that trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a unique, one of a kind magic trick,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not for sale. However, we could talk. I do have other magic that I would be happy to, I could
Sure.
charge for a
Mhm.
private session. I do teach magic if somebody wants to learn some magic, but that particular trick," I said, "I'm sorry, it's not for sale." And he said, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way because that's the only trick. I've seen you perform other magic and I love your magic, but that particular trick, I would want that one trick." And of course, he was not surprised that I told him, it
Well,
was
good
not
for
for
you.
sale.
Good for you for not sharing that or
But
selling
that
it or
but that was
whatever.
a compliment to me that another fellow magician
Huge.
who I consider a very talented guy
Mhm.
and with years of experience in the entertainment business would be approaching me, offering me money to learn some of my magic. That's when you know you've really arrived.
Yes.
When other professionals in the business are coming to you for help and for advice and for to offer you uh, money to teach them things and share your knowledge and experience. So that's and I do teach magic. Occasionally I'll have someone approach me and say, "Could you teach me a trick?" And I have a couple of magic tricks that I perform that I love, have in my close-up shows that I don't mind teaching somebody if they want to learn magic. I had a police officer the other day. He was working security for a corporate function that I was performing at, and he asked me uh, about some magic. If I would teach him some magic. He said, "I've discovered that magic is a good way to diffuse a potentially violent situation." So what he wanted to do was approach someone who's maybe in a desperate, in distress, or maybe they're on drugs, or they're in a panicked situation, and they're out here on the street, and there's about to be a fight, or somebody's about to be stabbed or shot, and this officer wants to defuse that problem. And he's learned ways, of course, in police academy, there's psychology techniques that you can use to calm a person down. But he saw a magician do that once, and he said, "Aha!" And he loves magic. So he said, I would love to perform some magic to help a person who's in distress, who needs calming down and reassured. So I was able to talk with him about it. So that's magic serves many purposes. It's not just for entertainment. I actually saved a person from suicide once. I performed a magic trick for them that has been one of my staples in my shows. And I found out later that they were possibly entertaining the thought of ending their life. But because they saw me perform this particular trick, it was an encouraging, uplifting trick to perform, and that's why I perform it, is to encourage people, and it ends with the fact there's always hope. If you're ever feeling down, I want you to think of this trick that you saw, and that will encourage you and help you get through the day. And that's kind of a message with that particular trick, and it worked. So I can actually say I saved someone's life, with my magic.
That is so cool.
Isn't that? Yeah.
So
So
cool.
we've been asking you questions about what you do and all. Do you have a question that you might like a couple of marketing persons to help you out with an answer?
I'm so glad you said that.
Good. Here we go.
Okay, let me tell you what I'm doing now. I have a website, right? The website
What
is
it? Yeah.
it's DarylHowardMagic.com, and Daryl is spelled Daryl, okay, like Daryl Hannah and Daryl Strawberry and Daryl F. Zanuck.
People don't even know who those people are.
I know.
That's all right.
Daryl Howard, we now
It's
know.
Daryl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DarylHowardMagic.com. You can go on the website and read about me and see links to videos, read my bio and about my my story of how I started in magic, see a photo of me, and see some videos of me performing, in my in favorite venues.
So the question is,
Well, how to get people to the website? Now here I advertise on the Bash, which used to be called Gig Masters. It's a entertainer's website, and if you have an entertainment business, whether you're a magician, musician, comedian, juggler, clown, face painter, a live DJ, all these different, yes, all the different variety acts where someone might want to hire you. I advertise on that platform. So I advertise on the Bash. There's another one called Gig Salad, and I get most of my gigs from the Bash and Gig Salad. I also get a lot of word of mouth referrals because somebody will hire me and they see me perform, and then they tell a friend, and the friend calls me. So I get word of mouth referrals, and I'll refer people to my website. But I want to do more. I feel like I could do more, that there are people out there that are looking for me right now as we speak that don't know about me. And a lot of them will go online and they'll say, find magicians in my area, and that's a good strategy. I've been told that the direct mail market is not a good investment of time and money. if you mail a brochure to someone that likely they're just going to throw it in the trash. So I don't know if that's true or not. You can weigh in on this, but I want every party and event planner and wedding planner, hotel event planner, and corporate event planner to have my contact information. I think I could, quadruple the amount of magic that I'm performing if more people could just knew about me. So I guess that would be my question to you. Other than what I'm doing now already, and Derrel, you've helped me with my website. And I have a videographer who has helped me shoot videos of live performances, and I have still photos of my live performances. And sometimes I'll take a selfie with the party guests, and I'll post that on Facebook. I have a Facebook account. It's Facebook /Daryl Howard Magic. You can go on Facebook and see my posts. And I'm trying to make more posts, more regularly on Facebook. That's a weak area of mine because I'm so busy doing things, and it's hard for me to sit down and actually, make Facebook posts. I've been told by several people, you need to do that more regularly. The TOM principle is what that's called. TOM stands for top of mind.
Oh, or total online marketing.
Yeah, there you go. And I
about this. Can you tell?
And I understand that, and I want to do more. But yes, that whatever suggestions you have for me, I know there are people out there watching this podcast right now. And you're thinking, well, I would like to.
So since I have worked with Derrel on this, and I think that we talked about this quite a bit. We really need to focus on the social media aspect of it. I think he needs to expand that area because that's where a lot of people have the quick attention things that they need to be grabbed with. And yeah, there's some more things that could be done, probably SEO wise and all that, because to be honest with you, how I got into the online marketing business per se was several years ago when I was looking for my not well planned out magician's website, and I was on page 13 of Google, and the people who were on page 1 were not even necessarily magicians in Dallas that I knew or cared for. And I said 2 things. This is wrong. Number 1, I shouldn't be on page 13. And number 2, my friends should be on page 1 with me. And so that's kind of what got me into actually making a business of online marketing. I'm proud to say that that was in October of 2010 when I discovered that, late October. 6 weeks later, in middle of December, I'm on page 1 of Google. And so I'm carrying that with me and working with people like Derrel. I like the entertainment area of it. I think there's a lot of things we could probably do more. I know it's a time factor with your social media. So
also something else that you have talked about is AI technology. I use Chat GPT a lot. I've become very good friends with whoever that is that created.
Mine's known as Chad Gupta.
Yeah, Chat GPT.
Right?
And I've gotten to act. I mean, it's like I'm talking to a real person. It's kind of scary, and it knows things about me that I did not think that it knows about me, and it will make suggestions based on things that it knows about me. I think, wait,
the computer is staying on at night.
How did you know that? I'm trying to break into script writing. I have written my own scripts for my own magic shows and designed and created my own props for many years.
That's awesome.
And I thought one day, and since I have a background in photography, and I'm a good storyteller, and I'm a good script writer, and I'm a professional performer, hey, why not try my hand at writing screenplays for short films. Now I know, and I have been duly warned that you can't make any money doing a short film. I get that. I understand that. It's not about the money. And you know, Derrel, you know me very well. We've known each other for years. You know, when I do something, it's really not about the money. I mean, I'm very happy that I can charge money for my magic shows, you know, but it's something that I would do as a hobby, even if I did not get paid for it. And what I want to do is create short films, not necessarily with a magic theme, but I want to use my writing talent to create short films more as a calling card for me as a writer, and for anyone who acts in the movie, or the videographer, whoever shoots the film, to advertise that hopefully someone will see that short film and want to hire one of us for bigger and better things.
Daryl, I know that for just to let Kris know, we had the Dallas Magic Club Officer Installation Banquet on Monday. Today is Thursday as we record this, and I approached you on Monday. I said, hey, I've got a time slot that opened up. Would you be willing to come? I want you to know how much I truly appreciate you being able to come in and fill this spot for us. You've given us tons of information about the magic business, the community, and what you do, and I'm deeply grateful for you being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this very much, and I hope that people will hear this or see this on the video and want to hire me.
Absolutely.
I've gotten very good reviews online.
Yeah, we'll put all your contact information that will go with the podcast as we get it syndicated out there. If you guys are watching, we would really appreciate it. That if you'll like this podcast, if you'll also subscribe to our channels. There's 2 channels here, one for Kris and one for myself. And we thank you for joining us on this. Daryl, thanks for joining us. Kris, always a pleasure.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Right. This was a lot of fun because this is the first guest I didn't know, so it made it a bit more fun.
All right. Well, thank you.
And make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to come on our show, let us know. You can reach out to us. All our information will be in the show notes.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye, everybody.